Hello! In previous section, you already know that defining a project means building a detailed WBS, and developing a network for your project should be done simultaneously. The project network is the tool used for planning, scheduling, and monitoring project progress. The network is developed from the information collected for the WBS and is a graphic flowchart of the project job plan. Developing project networks takes time for someone or some groups. Therefore, they cost money. Are networks really worth the struggle? The answer is definitely yes, except in cases where the important is considered unimportant or very short in duration. Basically, project networks minimize surprises by getting the plan out early and allowing corrective feedback. So next, I will show you how a project network is built up. But first, we need to know how an activity can be identified from work packages. Project networks are developed from the WBS. WBS includes many work packages. Work packages from the WBS are used to build the activities found in the project network. An activity may have one or more than one work package. Then the activities are placed in a sequence that provides for orderly completion of the project. Now, let's analyze an example of eSlim tablet design project, which was mentioned in a previous section. One of the lowest level deliverables here in this project is the circuit board. The cost accounts, design, production, test, and software denote a project work or organization unit responsible for the work packages. Each cost account represents one or more work packages. For example, the design cost account has two work packages, G11 specifications and G12 documentation. The software and production accounts also have two work packages, while test cost account only has one work package. From this WBS, we are building activities. Activity A uses work packages D11 and D12, while activity B uses only work package P101, and so forth with activity C, D, F, and K. From that, a network of the project is built using nodes and arrows or lines. The manager derives activity time estimates from the task times in the work package. For example, activity B or first prototype requires 5 weeks to complete, while K or testing activity requires 3 weeks to complete. Okay, so this is a project network. To construct a project network and derive essential information from it, you need to get familiar with some terms. They are activity, including merge, parallel, burst activity, the path, and the critical path. What are they? Okay, before going through these terminologies, we need to clarify some relationships between activities. We have predecessor, successor, concurrent or parallel activities. We are working on a current activity. and a predecessor activity must be completed immediately before the current activity, while the successor activity must immediately follow the current activity. Concurrent activity can occur while current activity is taking place, which means there is no direct relationship or arrow between them. Now, when it comes to terms, I'm going to use the network of the circuit board to illustrate them. An activity is an element of the project that requires time. It may or may not require resources. For example, when people work, it consumes resource, at least human resource. You might want to use equipment, tools, or material to complete that activity. However, an activity of waiting does not use any resource. In this network, activities are A, B, C, D, F, and K. Merge activity is an activity that has more than one activity immediately preceding it, which means there are more than one arrow flowing to it. In this case, we have one merge activity. Is D. In contrast, a burst activity has more than one activity immediately following it, which means there are more than one dependency arrow flowing from it. So, in this case, A is the burst activity here. Parallel or concurrent activities. These ones can take place at the same time if the manager wishes. However, he or she may choose to have them not occur simultaneously. So here, in this figure, parallel activities are B and C. The path. What is the path? It is a sequence of connected, dependent activities. There are two paths here. Can you find what they are? They are A, B, D, F, K, and A, C, D, F, K. Finally, we come to the term critical path. It is the path with the longest duration through the network. Sometimes there are more than one critical path. Let's take a look at the example one more time. We have two paths here. Based on the durations of each task or activity, we can determine the duration of each path, right? We need 19 weeks to complete the first path and 17 weeks to complete the second one. From the definition, the critical path is ABDFK. Okay, there are some basic rules you need to remember and follow when you construct a project network. Networks typically flow from left to right. An activity cannot begin until all of its preceding activities are completed. Arrows indicate precedence and flow and cannot cross over each other. Okay. Identify each activity with a unique number, and this number must be greater than its predecessors. You might want to identify each activity with a unique letter, as in the previous example. Remember? The activity A and B, C, ID, and so on. Looping is not allowed. Conditional statements are not allowed. And you might want to use a start node to indicate a clear project beginning on the network. Similarly, a single project end node can be used to indicate a clear ending. Okay, there are two methods in constructing a network: activity on node or AON and activity on arrow or AOA. The example that we worked before had used AON or activity on node network or method. The information of a simplified project network is presented here. This project represents a new automated warehouse system for picking frozen food package orders and moving them to a staging area for delivery to stores. We see that activity A has nothing preceding it. Therefore, it is the first node to be drawn. Next, we note that B and C are both preceded by A. We draw two arrows from A and connect them to activities B and C. It means A must be completed before activities B and C can begin. Okay, now it's your turn. Try to contribute an AON network for that project using given information. I want you to identify merge, burst, and concurrent activities in the network and number of paths. Please make sure that you walk through this before doing the following quiz, because I will ask you the same questions. See you next time.